In a world of immense diversity, some children are born with extraordinary physical or biological characteristics. These unique clinical cases and life trajectories push us to reconsider normality and admire human resilience in the face of the most complex adversity. Subscribe for more educational and fascinating videos. Number 10. Shiloh Pepin. Resilience in the face of mermaid syndrome. Shiloh Pepin became a global figure of courage due to her battle with sirenomelia, better known as mermaid syndrome. This extremely rare congenital pathology is characterized by the complete fusion of the lower limbs, evoking the tale of a mythological creature. Statistically, sirenomelia is almost always fatal at birth, as it is accompanied by severe internal malformations. The absence of a functional genitourinary system, rectal anomalies, and critical renal failure. However, Shiloh lived until the age of 10, an unprecedented medical feat. Unlike other children with this condition who undergo separation surgeries, Shiloh could not be operated on because her blood vessels were too tightly intertwined. Her journey was marked by over 150 procedures, including kidney transplants. Beyond the operating rooms, Shiloh became a media icon, appearing in documentaries and on shows like Oprah Winfrey's. She proved that quality of life does not depend on anatomical structure, but on the capacity to accept oneself and to be loved. Her passing in 2009 left a legacy of awareness regarding rare diseases and the importance of pediatric palliative care. Number 9. Virsavia Borun-Goncharova, A Heart on the Surface. Virsavia Borun-Goncharova was born with a spectacular condition called pentalogy of Cantrell. This anomaly affects approximately 1 in a million births and manifests as a malformation of the abdominal wall, diaphragm, and sternum. The most visible consequence is ectopia cordis. Virsavia's heart literally beats outside of her chest cavity, protected only by a thin layer of skin. One can see the contractions of her heart muscle with the naked eye, making every movement, fall, or physical contact potentially fatal. Despite this extreme vulnerability, Virsavia leads a surprisingly active life. Her mother had to move from Russia to the United States in hopes of finding specialists capable of operating. But the complexity of her vascular system has often made surgery too risky. Her story is a testament to raw vitality. She dances, runs, and sings, defying the fragility of her own body. She embodies the struggle between anatomical fragility and an unshakable life force, forcing cardiologists to rethink protection protocols for such cases. Number 8. Pranshu, the child deified between medicine and faith. In the village of Jalandhar, India, young Pranshu occupies a unique place at the intersection of the medical and the sacred. Born with a physical malformation that resulted in an enlarged forehead and narrowed eyes, Pranshu has a face that, to the inhabitants of his region, bears a striking resemblance to the god Ganesh, the elephant-headed deity. From a clinical perspective, his condition could be linked to a form of encephalocele or another craniofacial anomaly. However, where the West might see a pathology to be corrected, his community sees a blessing. Every Thursday, hundreds of devotees bow before him to receive his blessing. This situation raises fascinating questions about the socio-cultural perception of disability. Pranshu does not suffer from stigma. On the contrary, he is integrated and respected. His case shows how a biological difference can be transformed through the lens of culture into an attribute of prestige, providing the child with a protective psychological environment, albeit a complex one for a young mind to manage. Number 7. Shivram and Shivnath Sahu, Harmony in Duality. Brothers Shivram and Shivnath Sahu are conjoined twins from a small Indian village whose existence defies the usual laws of bodily autonomy. Joined at the waist, ischiopagus, they share 2 legs and 1 abdomen, but possess 2 torsos, 4 arms, and 2 distinct brains. Their coordination is a neurological marvel. They manage to walk, dress, and even ride a bicycle by perfectly synchronizing their movements as if they were a single organism governed by 2 wheels. Their case is emblematic of bioethical debates regarding separation. During their adolescence, surgeons offered to separate them, which would likely have allowed one of them to lead a normal life, while the other would have required constant care. The brothers categorically refused. To them, their union is not a burden but an identity. They illustrate a form of human symbiosis pushed to its limit, proving that individuality is not necessarily linked to physical separation. Their daily life is a lesson in permanent cooperation and absolute brotherhood. Number 6. Deepak Paswan, breaking free from the parasitic twin. Deepak Paswan's story is one of surgical liberation after a traumatic birth. Deepak was born with a parasitic twin, or fetus in fetu, attached to his chest. Specifically, he had 2 extra arms and 2 extra legs emerging from his torso, belonging to a twin that had not fully developed in utero. Like Pranshu, he was initially perceived by some as a divine incarnation, but the medical reality was alarming. The extra weight and shared blood circulation strained his heart and compromised his growth. In 2010, a team of surgeons in Bangalore performed a marathon multi-hour operation to remove the parasitic limbs. The success of this intervention transformed Deepak's life, allowing him to transition from an object of religious curiosity to a young boy capable of playing football without hindrance. This case highlights the lightning-fast progress of pediatric surgery in developing countries and the importance of access to cutting-edge care to correct heavy congenital anomalies. Number 5. Arya Permana, the battle against metabolic obesity. Arya Permana, from Indonesia, was once infamously known as the world's heaviest child. At the age of 10, he weighed nearly 192 kilograms, 423 pounds. His case went far beyond the issue of diet. It was a severe hormonal and metabolic disorder that caused insatiable hunger and pathological fat accumulation. His life was in immediate peril. He could no longer walk, became breathless at the slightest word, and had to bathe in an outdoor pond because no shower could accommodate him. His transformation journey is a model of public health management. Under the supervision of a multidisciplinary team, Arya underwent bariatric surgery, a first for a child of his age in his region, coupled with a strict diet and an intense exercise program. His spectacular weight loss of over 100 kilos revealed a determined and athletic teenager. His story is a wake-up call regarding childhood metabolic disorders and an example of hope regarding the reversibility of extreme clinical situations through coordinated medical intervention. Number 4. Bayezid Hossein, the mystery of accelerated aging. Bayezid Hossein, a young Bangladeshi boy, lives a paradoxical biological reality. Suffering from progeria, Hutchinson-Gilford syndrome, associated with cutis laxa, his body ages 8 times faster than normal. At only 4 or 5 years old, Bayezid already had the wrinkled face of an 80-year-old man, suffered from joint pain, urinary difficulties, and heart problems typical of old age. Progeria is caused by a mutation in the LMNA gene, which produces an abnormal protein, progerin, destabilizing the cell nucleus. What makes Bayezid's case particularly touching is the contrast between his physical appearance and his cognitive abilities. It is reported that he possesses above-average intelligence and an acute awareness of his condition. These children, often called children of the twilight, offer us crucial data for understanding human aging in general. Bayezid's life is a race against time, reminding us of the fragility of our DNA and the necessity of genetic research to extend the lives of those whose hourglass is running out too fast. Number 3. Giuliano Stroe, The Limits of Physical Conditioning. Unlike the other cases born with pathologies, Giuliano Stroe became a biological exception through training. Nicknamed the Romanian Hercules, he began high-intensity weightlifting and gymnastics at the age of 2 under his father's tutelage. By age 5, he displayed the musculature of a professional bodybuilder and broke world records for vertical push-ups and feats of pure strength. Giuliano's case triggered a global ethical storm. Pediatricians worried about the impact of such a workload on bone growth and the hormonal development of a child. His body, though healthy in appearance, represented an artificial deviation from normal growth. However, Giuliano remained a vibrant child, passionate about his performances. His case questions our relationship with physical excellence. How far can we push a child's muscle plasticity without compromising their long-term physiological integrity? He remains a unique example of what the human body can achieve under extreme physical stimulation from a very young age. Number 2. Oksana Malaya, Survival Beyond Human Language. The story of Oksana Malaya belongs to the realm of feral children, but it is one of the best documented. Neglected by her alcoholic parents in Ukraine at the age of 3, she survived for 6 years in a kennel raised by dogs. When she was discovered in 1991, Oksana no longer walked upright and used no human language. Instead, she barked, growled, and ate like a canine. This case is fundamental to developmental psychology. It illustrates the concept of the critical period. If a child is not exposed to human language and socialization before a certain age, the necessary neural circuits never fully form. Although she was rehabilitated and learned to speak and walk, Oksana retained cognitive and behavioral sequelae over years in the wild throughout her life. Her tragic fate emphasizes that a human being is not just a biological entity, but also a social construction. Without others, our biology itself deviates toward archaic survival modes. Number 1. Sherik and Terik, The Miracle of Genetic Diversity. Sherik and Terik illustrate a biological phenomenon so rare that it seems to defy the laws of probability. Heteropaternal superfecundation. Although they are twins born from the same birth, they have different fathers. This occurs when 2 eggs are released during the same cycle and fertilized by 2 different partners within a short interval of time. In their case, the difference is visually striking. One of the twins was born with a black phenotype, reflecting his father's heritage, while the other was born albino or with extremely fair skin, creating a total contrast. This case challenges our prejudices about twinship and race. They are living proof that genetics is a lottery of infinite combinations. Beyond scientific curiosity, their unbreakable fraternal bond shows that identity is not defined by skin pigmentation or the similarity of features, but by the shared experience of coming into the world together despite their distinct genetic codes. By exploring these frontiers of the human experience, we learn humility. We understand that normal is only a statistical average, and that the true essence of humanity lies in its ability to adapt, survive, and find beauty in the most unexpected forms of life. These 10 children are not just clinical exceptions. They are beacons that illuminate our understanding of what it means to be alive. Number 11. A moment for unexpected cases. These 2 children face incredible medical challenges. On the left, a baby born with fused legs, known as sirenomelia. On the right, a young girl living with her heart outside of her chest. Despite these unique trials, they embody an extraordinary life force. You are true warriors of hope. we send you all our love and support. These 10 stories highlight the extraordinary biological diversity of humanity. By exploring these rare conditions, we develop a deeper understanding of medicine and resilience, reminding us that every individual possesses inestimable intrinsic value.